What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Young, 702 with the check-in. Let me fix this ugly undershirt I got on. Now, I just saw a video of some black people doing something stupid. I forgot what it was. It's always a video of some black people doing something stupid. And it was a big, massive amount of white people saying, all black people must die, 13% of the population, 90% of the issue, the normal spiel. Then there was this undercurrent of those same white people liking comments of black people who said, these are the black people who make all black people look bad. Right? That concept is what I want to talk about. I want to know why black people are the only group of people who have to be coddled into a herd. How come if one of us does something, all of us look bad? But if one of us does something good, none of us look good but that one. Why there's a such thing as black on black crime, but there's no Mexican on Mexican crime. There's no Asian on Asian crime. There's no white on white crime. You see, now please don't get me wrong. When you look at black on black crime, I know there's a statistic that 43% or something like that of white people are killed by 40% of white people, or 85% and 85% of white people are killed by 85% of white people, and 85% of black people are killed by 85% of black people. I get that. But we're looking at, and then even more if you look at the murder stats, we're right around 50-50 for the amount of murders being killed. And I know the truth of that statistic is we're only 15% of the population. Why are we 50% of the murders? I get all of that. Please, that's not what I'm saying. But a big portion of why that is when if a black man beats his wife right now and his wife is black, they're going to say black man, they're going to say black victim, black perpetrator, black on black violence. They're going to shovel it into a mix of black on black violence, and that's where it stays. But if a white man beats his white wife right now, they're going to say male suspect, female victim, they were married. This is called domestic violence. How do we want to handle this? You see, if a white man robs and murders another white man today, right now, that's robbery, it's gun violence, it's all these other things, and we have to find a way to stop it. But if a black man robs and murders another black man, then this is black on black violence. Put it in that pile. So what we've done is we've found a way for mainstream America to deal with issues in mainstream America. But when there are issues in the black community, we found a way to paint ourselves with the broad stroke and accept it as such. When black people accept that concept, we accept it in every grain of our lives. We begin painting ourselves with a broad stroke. No black criminal speaks for me. I'm not. I'm an individual, just like white people are individuals. There's when you dang, I'm coughing a lot today. When you talk about drug and when you talk about gang violence, when you talk about black on black violence, you will find that so much black on black violence is actually gang violence. And none of those gangbangers are saying, I want to kill that dude over there because he's black. None of that gang violence is racially motivated. It's gang motivated. It's drug motivated. It's all these other things, but none of it is race. So how is it black on black violence? But as long as we believe that the person is the killer because he's black and the person is the victim because he's black, we'll never get to the root of the problem. And as long as what happens is you get this cop from middle America white kid, and he comes into a black community and he just hears black on black violence. Black people are violent to each other. In his mind, the issue of why these people are violent is because they're black. Not because any other issues that make white people do violent things. So being black is all of a sudden a marker for being a criminal. When 90% of crimes in the world are committed by 50% of the population, and that's men. 95% of the crimes in the world are committed by the 50% of the population that is male. But when a cop pulls a man over, he doesn't say, man, I had to take a little extra caution because he was a guy. Men, they commit 95% of the crimes. They don't say that. The only reason why they don't say that is because there's no such thing as man-on-man violence. But because there's such thing as black on black violence, when these cops come in the black community, they look around at all these black people and they say, hey, you know what? They're all criminals. because they're all black. So that's the marker for me. All it is now is for me to figure out how I'm gonna prove it, so I can take them all to jail. And that's the problem. That's why. And so then for black people who are not criminals, which is the majority of us, I hate to tell you this, but I grew up in a gang neighborhood in '97. This is anecdotal, but the vast majority of the houses in the neighborhood did not have a gang member in them. Telling you the truth. 300 projects, apartments in the projects, and about 20 of them had gang members in them. This is how it is. I would hate to, tell the truth here. So the majority of us are not even the criminals that you think we are. But yet you've huddled us all up because of black on black violence. So for the good of us to defend ourselves, we have to defend the fact that black is a marker. So subsequently, we are actually protecting the criminal. We don't want to protect the criminal, but when you're going to say that the person is a criminal just because they're black, in order to defend our own blackness, we got to defend his, and he's a criminal. So we've been giving little subconscious loopholes to criminals over and over and over again because we won't treat black America like we treat the rest of America. And that's a problem. And where that really upsets me is when I see it reflected on black people. When black people start saying stuff like, see, this is the black people that make all black people look bad. When you see white people doing stuff, do you say that to them? Do you say, you know what? That white guy that knocked out that old white man, or knocked out that old black dude, or that white guy that just stuck a hanger in a little black kid's butt, those are the type of white guys that make all white people look bad. No. None of us actually feel that way. But we look for any excuse to make black people look bad. And that's a problem to me. That's a psychological problem to me. I don't know what the logic is. I don't even care. I'm just saying that it's time out that we do something different. It's time out that we think a different way, man. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. I just felt like that needed to be said. This is Mr. Young, 702. It's my time. Write, subscribe, email, do all the other good stuff. Peace.